Hello to everyone. This is Krishnavani, Assistant Professor, Department of MCA in Rogini College of Engineering and Technology. Today's topic is polymorphism and binding. First, polymorphism. Polymorphism is one of the core concepts in object-oriented programming language. In this word derived from two keywords, that is polymorphism. Polymorphism means form. That means representing one thing in many forms called as a polymorphism. We represent one method in many ways with the help of polymorphism. So there are two types of polymorphisms are available. There are There are two types of polymorphism available. One is runtime and another one is compile time. The real-time example of polymorphism, a person who plays different role in life, like a father, like a husband, and an employee. Each of these roles define different behavior of the person, depend on the object calling. This is the real-time example of polymorphism. This is the simple coding for the polymorphism. Next, why we can use polymorphism in Java? Code reasonability, then flexibility and abstraction behavior and dynamic behavior. These four reasons we can use the polymorphism in Java. Types of polymorphism is runtime polymorphism and then compile time polymorphism. We can explain in detail. First one is compile time polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism means the decision over which method will be called. We decide during the compilation. This is called as compile time polymorphism. It is also known as called as static polymorphism. Example of compile time polymorphism is method overloading. This happens when multiple methods in the same class have the same name but different parameters. In this exhibit, here the example, the multiplier is yes method. It has same name but different argument are passed. That means in class helper, multiple have here two linked data types variables. In other next line, next statement, the multiple method have double data type variables. This concept is known as my method overloading. That means runtime polymorphism. Runtime polymorphism. Runtime polymorphism means the decision about which method will be called and decided during the execution time. It is also known as dynamic method. The best example of runtime polymorphism is method override. Method override, on the other hand, occur when a derived class or definition for one of the member function of the base class. That base function is said to be overridden. Overriding, method overriding is the method overriding in the subclass must have the same name, return type and parameter as the method in the superclass. Method overriding allows the subclass to modify or extend the behavior of an existing method in the parent class. This is a method overriding. This is a simple example of method overriding. There is no inheritance concept in the method. There is no method overriding concept also. So only we have to involve method overriding concept in the inheritance concept only. Next is advantages. Encourage the code reviews, simplify the maintenance, enable dynamic method dispatch, help in writing generic code that works with many types. One disadvantage of polymorphism is it can make more difficult to understand the behavior of an object. This may cause performance issue as polymorphic behavior may require additional computation at runtime. Next is static binding. The binding which can be resolved at a compile time by the compiler is known as static or early binding. Method overloading is a static binding. The behind of all static private and final method is dynamic compile time. Dynamic binding. In dynamic binding, compiler does not decide the method to be called. Overriding is perfect example of the dynamic binding. In overriding, both parent and the classes, child classes have the same method. This is the difference between static and dynamic binding. This is the simple example of static binding and dynamic binding. Next one is Thank you. These are the things of polymorphism concept.